What's up, guys? Mike Powell here. Another episode of Dog Talk. Rain or shine, man. I'm out here rocking, trying to get this done. I figure since it's because it's raining out and it's kind of cold, it's actually not too bad. But you know, as it starts to get colder, might as well tell a couple of wintertime stories and wintertime missions. One of them that comes to the top of my head real quick is obviously probably one of the first times that I wanted to ride in the winter. Over here in California, we only got like 5, maybe 6 months of good weather out here, and then it gets pretty cold. And it's not so much the air temperature, but it's the water. So you can wear wetsuits. A lot of dudes wear dry suits. But when I first went out on like a cold water adventure, I only had a spring suit. And spring suit short sleeve and short shorts like cut off above the knee. So I was super cold, man. My ears were freezing. I complained and I bitched and moaned, and so I didn't get to go back out for a while in the winter till probably I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 16, 17. And I was driving around and riding with other dudes, and we're going and taking we were taking our wetsuits out there and getting. Some dudes were wearing dry suits. I wore a couple dry suits a couple times, but I just feel like it kind of restricts my movement. I'd rather just wear a wetsuit. And I also feel like if a surfer's out in the ocean and it's way colder than where I'm shredding, then I got no excuses. So I should be out there, you know. And I got good mobility. Some of these wetsuits are pretty warm once you get going. So that was probably the first one. Another good winter times. It could help some of you out there. I don't know where you ride or whatnot, but me and my buddy back in the day, we were living together. We built these little stands. They were like water heater stands, pretty much. And we just would keep them out there on shore, use them as docks. That way we wouldn't have to get in the water all the time. Or by the time you did fall, you'd be warmed up. See it. Oh, a good one. Let's see. So I went to go, I checked the weather and everything, and the weather was going to be good, but I didn't check the tides. And I was buying this houseboat from this guy out in Manteca, and I was going to take it out to Stockton. So I show up like on time, like right before lunch, and I figure, you know, I got like a 4-hour drive, right? Or 4-hour tow. I was going to use my ski boat to tugboat this fucking 32-foot houseboat all the way out to Stockton before it got dark. And so we go and launch my boat, and we get out there, and it's low tide, and I didn't know the area very well, and you would normally think like being in the center of the slough is like the deepest part, but the deepest part was actually like right here, right by the shoreline. And I didn't know that, and the guy had a jet boat. I should have knew right then and there. But we go back there, and as I'm going like 25 cruising, and then I hit a sandbar, vroom, and I killed the motor right away and everything. And we just kind of grazed it. And I mean, maybe I don't know. I was blessed. I was lucky. It tweaked it, or it kind of nicked the prop just a little bit, but nothing serious, like till later. I got it fixed eventually. But anyway, so my boat's stuck there on the island. The guy, I give him a call, he comes back, picks us up on the jet boat, takes us over there. Then the houseboat's kind of beached like a little bit, so he's like trying to pull it off, and this takes hella time. Finally, the tide kind of comes up, and he pulls the boat out, and we hook it up to my boat. And now it's like 3 hours later, and the rain started, and it's getting dark. So I hooked it up, and I had to tow it, and I didn't have any lights on my boat at the time, and still don't. And I was towing it all the way, man. I towed it up through the dark. I use my phone every now and then, but it was soaking wet, man. I had nothing to work with. Bimini only does so much. Then it was just dripping everywhere, and soaked my clothes. And I was just trying to stay bundled and huddled as best as I could, but it sucked, man. Finally, I get out there at like 10:30, 11. Hook the boat up. Then I still got to go all the way back to the port to where my boys got my trailer. So then I drove all the way over there, and then we put my truck all the way down on the launch ramp, and there's hyacinth like everywhere. Out here on the Delta, the hyacinth spreads like wildfire on the sloughs. And man, it was all over the boat ramp, and my tires weren't like just hooking up, and it was slipping and slipping. We could not pull my boat out, but I worked it for a while, and I got it going probably after like 20 minutes, but I was working it. It was sick. And man, that was a gnarly adventure. Super cold. And then I wasn't too stoked on this, but I also checked the weather and was supposed to hit a good patch after some things went south with my boat, or underwater submerged with my boat. I had to tow it after I pulled it up out of the water away from that dude's dock and kind of closer to where, closer to Discovery Bay. And so I started to tow it over there, and it started getting dark and everything, and I got a good patch of rain, and I forgot that there was bridges over here. I almost hit a couple bridges, but I got it all the way through. So man, do your homework or just be ready to dump and run, but always ready. Another good wintertime story. Oh man, I like to winch a lot during the winter because being submerged in the water and falling in the water kind of sucks all the time, for progression anyways. So like I like to winch a lot during the winter because you can play in the shallow stuff, and you can wear stuff to kind of stay warm, and you're out of the water most of the time anyway. And I went out, and I was with Rich Facciano from Original Wake Skates, and a few other guys were with us, and that we met up with from the skate park. And we went out there, and we were trying to teach these guys to wake skate in this puddle at like a semi-trailer storage lot. And there was like a big dirt puddle, big mud puddle, and but it was just deep enough. We brought a rail out there. That was pretty fun. It was cold, but then like the water was like gross warm, almost like pea water warm. But it was cool. Well, I thought it was warm anyway. That was a good time over there. Let's see. Oh man, I remember trying to learn bat wings. Bat wings at Lake Anderson. It was like super overcasty, and the water was super freezing, and like I had been standing up trying to get warm doing a bunch of carves and cuts for like 10 minutes, and then I sat on the first one, and just it scooped out from behind me better than I thought I was gonna do, and because I was surprised, I hesitated and threw the rope, and then oh man, when I hit the water, it hurt so bad. That was a super shitty moment. Oh yeah, that one sucked. This other time, New Year's, me and my buddy Mike back in the day, we went to go see my cousin out in Chico for New Year's. And when we went to go out there, we brought the winch and our wakeboards. And I don't know why we didn't have wetsuits at this time, but when we went to, we were on our way back. Right as we came down through Red Bluff, we stopped over at this lake we used to have amateur competitions at. And they had rails and everything there, and we just drove on the lot, went out there and set the winch up, or I mean it was already hooked up to the back of the truck, and we just ran the rope out, and the water was like 39 degrees maybe, and we didn't have no wetsuits, and we were just in button up like flannel shirts and board shorts, and went out there, and first hit, we both were talking mess like, oh no, we won't fall, we're getting so good, we hardly fall. Yeah, right. First one on the A-frame, tried to gap the center. We both ate it down, and we're not wearing vests because we're just winching. We thought we were on shore and we're slick, right? And so of course we go to like neck deep, and we're freezing balls cold. Man, that was so crazy. That was gnarly times. And then we're like, we had the heater going in the truck, all kinds of crazy stuff. We're, sipping a bottle of something to kind of keep the blood warm. That was a good time. But yeah, man, I've got some good times. Oh, I've also been to some cool lakes, during the winter times where they're just all the way glassed out. The water is super freezing cold, but man, it is some of the most epic riding you'll ever get to do. So mad props to some of those dudes out in like Alaska, or those crazy spots where there's like ice water in Minnesota and stuff where the lakes freeze over. You guys are nuts. Mad props. But yeah, leave a comment in the section below and let me know where the first time you went riding in the cold was, or yeah, let me know where that was, and whether it was a good experience or a bad experience. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Till the next one.